Galavina, Guia Dolosana, Angita Talitakini and Navarro and Bula FM and Golden Point Resort, Basendo Nambandana Here, Vinaka.
Bula Vinaka, Navan Gotevita, Utungwe 90, and the Talita Wale and Bula FM, Nambandu, and I said.
Nadango Makilesi, where Kraki and Lesbian and Bula FM, Nambandanas.
Hello, Ratu Kitchen in Gotabo, and do Talita Navarro and Bula FM, and Moldo and Sere,
Bula FM, number 2 and Ser.
Good evening, this is FBC News. Tonight, Prime Minister makes first visit to Taveuni after tropical cyclone Winston. Police warn would-be offenders during Easter long weekend to think twice. And FBA to shut off Monasavu Hydro Station this evening. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama visited the worst affected areas of southern Taveuni yesterday. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports this is the first time the PM got to see firsthand the destruction on the island.
Arriving at Mate Airport on board an Australian Defence Force helicopter, Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama, accompanied by the Australian High Commissioner Margaret Toomey, headed straight for Wayevo Government Station, where they were briefed of the situation in Taveuni.
These are the areas that we have also managed to put the rest in first, and also Label. This is also a red zone area. The rest are the green zone areas.
The first stop was Navakawau District School, one of the severely affected schools on the island. Next, the Prime Minister stopped at Navakawau village where he met with the villagers and had a Talanoa session.
All affected places in the country are being given food and water, and as we continue with the next 30 days, we will concentrate on severely affected places.
From Navakawau, the entourage left for South Taveuni primary and secondary schools, which were also severely damaged by the cyclone.
This building, we just made a new one, and you can see here. And the other buildings in the corner, the roof is gone. We have put the tarpaulins. This building you can see, the roof is gone. We have put the tarpaulins. So 8 classrooms we need at the moment.
This is the Prime Minister's first visit to Taveuni after tropical cyclone Winston hit the island.
Covered the south of Taveuni that was devastated during Winston, especially Navakawau and Vuna and the schools. They've started to slowly recover from the assistance that's been provided by Commissioner Northern Office, especially DO Taveuni. So they're doing quite well.
And as the people of Taveuni slowly rebuild their lives, they have been assured by the Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama that rehabilitation efforts will reach them. But for now, government's priority are schools and government infrastructure. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
Police are taking a hardline approach in their Easter long weekend operations. Starting tonight, anyone caught breaking the law will be locked up until the courts reopen on Tuesday. Akusita Tale reports police have beefed up operations as of this morning.
Close to 100 additional police officers will be deployed from this evening to monitor and make arrests if necessary. Police Chief of Operations Rusiati Tunravu told FBC News that drunk drivers are their biggest worry.
If drivers are caught drinking and under the influence of liquor whilst driving, they expect that they will be taken in and they will not be released until they appear in court. So in the long weekend, it simply means that they'll be locked up and then they'll appear in custody. There will be no bail granted on that for drunk and drive cases.
Police have confirmed there will be no bail granted until court proceedings resume on Tuesday. Picnic sports and recreational areas will be heavily monitored, while night operations will clamp down on drunk and disorderly behavior.
A lot of turnout in Suba. Whether we don't have any evidence to correlate the drunkards around Suba, but it seems to appear that the FNPF money is the reason why there's a lot of drunkards in town. As I said, that is not official. We're just trying to link, but there is a lot of drunkards in town.
A special task force has also been deployed in parts of Suva, the west and the north. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
The Fiji National Provident Fund continues to process requests for Tropical Cyclone Winston withdrawals almost a week after it closed applications. Maggie Boyle is standing by live at the FNPF office in Suva. Maggie, how has the fund paid out to date?
Good evening, Jackie. Well, I'm standing here in front of Provident Plaza, the headquarters of FNPF. Now, as you can see behind me, there are a number of broadsheet papers that basically are plastered on this wall and the adjoining walls that give you members' names and their details, telling them that their checks are ready for collection. Now, we spoke to the Chief Operating Officer earlier, and Churchy Koroi, and he's told us that as of today, they've paid out more than $100 million. More than $100 million, which equals to about more than 85,000 applications that they've received. Now, Koroi, of course, has told us, given the volume of applications that they've received, it's been more than what they received at the fund over 2 years. So 2015 and 2014 combined, the applications received for the TC Winston assistance has surpassed that. Bearing in mind, of course, this has been open for only 3 weeks. And looking at those figures, 85,000 applications processed as of today, we're looking at something like 5,000 a day applications that have gone through here. Now, the over 100 million that's been paid out, that number, of course, is expected to increase. There are payments that are expected to be paid out next week and possibly the week thereafter. We, of course, expected touch base with Koroi next week to get final figures on just how many applications are finally processed and also just how much money is paid out at the end of this. And of course, given this volume, the number of people that have been affected by Cyclone Winston is obviously widespread, and the number of people that have taken up this assistance, which have been payments of $1,000 and $5,000, gives you an idea of just how many people want to help rebuild Fiji. Back to you, Jackie.
Thanks so much for that update, Maggie. Major works at the Monasavu Dam begin tonight as the Fiji Electricity Authority installs a new inlet valve for the Wailaw Power Station. Akusita Tale reports the entire Viti-level region will be powered by diesel generators this Easter weekend.
3 hours from now, massive amounts of water will be drained out of the Monasavu Dam inlet, a 10-hour operation as electricity supply switches to diesel generators.
We have certain amount of diesel, but as I said, we've got Nandarivatu Power Station and Wainikasau Power Station as well to assist, So if things go well, if no machine goes out of operation, then we should be able to supply everyone in Vitilevu during the Easter weekend. But say for some reason, if some machine went out, then there could be an intermittent outage to certain areas, which we'll try to bring back as quickly as possible.
Hasmukh Patel says FEA has close to 102 megawatts of diesel capacity and smaller hydro stations for the long weekend.
It's a major exercise because it involves 3 or 4 days of work and very precise work, and it has to be done in a very timely manner. The problem is we have to take the entire station out to do that, and therefore we have reduced capacity to meet the demand of our customers. That is the point. That's why it's important that we inform all our customers in advance so that should something go hayway, then they are clearly aware of what's happening.
Despite public concern this week, Patel says there will be no power sharing or power outages if all goes well. The $4.5 million operation is expected to end on Monday afternoon. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
2 new scanners will be in use at the 2 airports and parcel post operations effective this weekend. The Fiji Revenue Customs Authority now has portable first offender technology to beef customs operations and catch would-be traffickers at our borders. Akusita Tale with more.
This handheld device is the latest technology in detecting drugs, unknown substances and chemicals. It provides results on the spot.
It can identify explosives, toxic industrial chemicals, warfare agents, narcotics, precursor white powders, and is capable of identifying chemical signatures related to narcotics, trafficking, distribution and manufacturing.
It may look small, but it doesn't come cheap. Total cost of purchase and training of 10 staff came to $287,000. Das says this is a message to the would-be traffickers not to underestimate Fiji.
It goes to the extent of body stripping, body insertions, mails, luggage, and anything you can think of. So this scanners is going to definitely assist us detect this.
Customs officers at our port of entries will have access to the two machines.
We have trained the officers, right, as need arises. Suppose if we are rummaging a vessel, definitely those scanners will be used. Because work mostly is if there is any tourist vessel or passengers are coming out, then we check. But for rummage of vessels, definitely.
12 drug trafficking cases in Fiji in the last 2 years have been valued at $45 million, and FRCA is confident that more will now be detected. Akusita Talei, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, Hindus celebrate the Festival of Colours.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Recreative Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marita Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavo Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Prevention of tuberculosis in children should be a special focus in Fiji. Education Permanent Secretary Yohane Tiko made these comments during the World TB Day celebration in Suva today. Sainiani Mboila has more.
A call has gone out to all stakeholders involved in the control of tuberculosis to focus on children.
Considering that TB is now a curable and preventable disease, ladies and gentlemen and children, we ought to be aware that TB in children is difficult to diagnose, and its preventative measures is often not considered or taken seriously.
Cesarina Bolau Salu was diagnosed with TB 2 years ago and faced months of hardship. She is receiving treatment even now.
And yeah, I was on treatment for 3 months in the hospital, and then I got discharged last year. But then I didn't finish taking my pills, so they brought me back to the hospital, and so they told me like I had to go now for 8 months on treatment and 2 months on strep dose injection.
Education Permanent Secretary Yohane Tiko says about 500,000 children globally will become ill because of TB, and as many as 70,000 children will die from the disease.
The report clearly states that young children and infants do not spread TB. However, once infected, they easily become sick as their immune system is still developing. This makes them a vulnerable group.
TB in children often goes undetected. Tuberculosis is caused by bacteria, which usually attacks the lungs, but can also damage other parts of the body. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Hindus celebrate Holi today, but many in Fiji are waiting for the long weekend. Holi is an ancient Hindu religious festival known as the Festival of Colours or the Festival of Love. Farzana Nisha has more.
Holi is one of the biggest festivals in the Hindu calendar with lots of singing and merrymaking. Navdurga Dhiraj Ramayan Fag monthly secretary Jaswant Kumar says about 40 people from the community came out to mark the auspicious occasion today.
Holi is basically good over evil, where we all come to one color and we forget our past and then we come into one and celebrate Holi.
This is a typical scene during Holi as people go from house to house singing folk songs and playing with coloured powder, hence the name, the Festival of Colours. Pandit Amrit Lal Maharaj says as we celebrate Holi, people should not forget those who are going through hardships.
Let us all get together and help them. And this Holi is a special Holi for Fiji where everybody should get together to help those who are in need. After all, our religion says that we help those who are in need.
More celebrations are expected over the Easter long weekend. Farzana Nisha, FBC News.
Today marks the eve of Good Friday, the beginning of the Easter long weekend holiday. And one of the common symbols associated with the Easter celebrations is the hot cross buns. Ellen Stolz tells us more.
Bose Naivalurua has been a baker for more than 15 years and says the secret to a perfect hot cross bun lies in the ingredients.
Ingredients regarding to the customer's choice and the taste they like, so accordingly we make our recipe according to what they like.
The holidays also mean more shopping and business for supermarkets, says MH Food Court and Bakery Manager Shireen Kumar.
It's not only a matter of the Christians, but it's also one of the significant holidays that people look forward to. Time for family get-together to signify this crucial time for Christians. It's also about business for business people, and this is what it's all about MHs. This is the time we look forward to booming up our business.
While family and friends are making plans to spend time together, the Minister for Women, Rosie Akbar, visited old people at the senior citizens' home who have no one to care for them.
It's very sad, and I think it's very sad, and it should melt anyone's heart to see the plight of the seniors. I mean, I know they're looked after well, but what they miss is the love and affection from their own children. And if you sit and talk to them, that's one thing they long for, is to go back home.
Christians will hold various services remembering Christ's death and his resurrection, conquering death and giving mankind a path to eternal life. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
And on that note, it's Thursday night sports now. Here's Jamie.
Got a bit excited there. Friday's tomorrow.
Too excited.
Exactly. Coming up, Ben Ryan eyes overseas base players for Hong Kong Sevens. And Nandi ropes in under 20 players for OFC Champions League. We'll have this and more after the break.
मैं हूँ रेहान खान गुरबो तालेबू के जैसे फेस्टिवल आई ग्रेट है गुरबो में उसी तरह मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है गुरबो में
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
हम नकाशी से साइमान है हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है
माय नेम इज दिनेश हम नैनी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जायंट जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लाइक इट
मिर्ची एफएम Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan is expected to include an overseas-based player in the team to Hong Kong and Singapore tournaments next month. FBC Sports understands Ryan is highly likely to include Semi Kunatani in the 14-member squad to be named next week. If so, this will be Kunatani's second leg after playing for Fiji in Wellington and Sydney earlier in the year. Ryan hopes to make a final decision on Kunatani's inclusion this weekend.
I'm going to have a look and think over the weekend on overseas players. You know, there's one that may well return. You know, we got released from one of the clubs, so let's wait and see. You know, and I want to see how the boys all are and how their fitness and injuries.
Meanwhile, the Vodafone Fiji Sevens side went through a grueling session early this morning in Pacific Harbour. There were some players returning to contact training after injuries, while some went through the last phase of rehab sessions. Vashnil Prasad reports.
It was back to business for the Fiji Sevens players early this morning. While it was a tough contact session for others, stylish utility back Vatemo Ravovo and Isake Katonimbao went through the rehab session.
They're still on end phase rehab, really, both with knee ankle injuries sustained in Fatimo in Vegas and Ice Vegas and Vancouver. So yeah, look, we'll make a call on them next week. The signs are pretty good. They're progressively getting back into things.
The return of Apisai Domolailai and William Mata puts more competition in this power-packed squad. Ryan is keeping a close watch on a particular player who missed the morning session.
No, Save's at the hospital today getting an MRI scan on his hand. He had a hand injury in Vegas that was heavily strapped in Vancouver, and I think, you know, hindered him a little bit. So we hope that, you know, he's got the green light for that, but we'll be careful. He's a valuable commodity for us.
The side is expected to go through some grueling sessions here at Uprising for another week before the final squad is named next week.
Pain Thursday here today because I'm giving them Good Friday off. So we're having a lot of hard work today. They're in the gym this morning and then a hard contact session and fitness, and then this afternoon games, defence, contact, fitness, everything really, so that they'll be calling off the field before they have their 4-day break.
The bond looks strong in the team and the players are ready to break any walls to be selected in the squad for Hong Kong and Singapore Sevens. Mashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Nandi has named 2 national under-20 players in its amended squad for next month's Oceania Football Confederation Champions League. Suva, on the other hand, has opted to travel 1 player less. Rohit Deo tells us more.
Keep it and move. The Suva football team isn't taking a replacement for Joseph Turangambedi for next month's OFC Champions League. Based in New Zealand, Turangambedi can't take part as he hasn't played any National League matches for the Whites, but that's not the only worry for Suva.
Injury list is Nikhil Chand. He's already injured and he has been resting for almost 2-3 weeks now. He's not training with the under-23. He has to rest for that injury, and let's see if he gets better for the upcoming OFC Champions League, but I'm still in big doubt for him.
Suva, which was runners-up in the National League last year, will be counting on its new imports to lead the charge.
With few players like Satriki Hughes and coming in, and then Samira Tunku and Benaminu, I think Satriki Hughes is doing very well. He's in regular training. And
Martin Nasova and Afraz Ali have joined Nandi. Last-minute changes because the OFC disallowed Shoaib Khan, James Hoyt, Rajinesh Sharma and Apisai Smith.
We can't promise anything to any people of Nadi, what we can do, but we'll try our best.
The OFC Champions League kicks off on the 8th of April, with Nandi playing Tahiti's AS Tefana on the opening day, while Suva takes on Team Wellington in its first match a day later. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
And remember, you can watch live and delayed matches from the OFC Champions League on FBC TV. 80 teams will take part in next month's Fiji Better Mara Sevens in Suva. 64 will compete for the top prize, while 8 teams each will participate in the women's and golden oldies competition. The tournament will be played on the 22nd and 23rd of next month at ANZ Stadium in Suva.
We wanted to have a secondary school rugby or under-19 rugby, under-18s rugby, sorry. But it's a bit unfair on the students because they're having the Coca-Cola Athletics finals the very next week. So in the interest, because of injury scare maybe for students, we thought we'd just hold that till next year.
Meanwhile, the Moda Cinemas has also come on the sponsorship board, giving away 285 movie tickets to players and officials in teams that reach the finals. The Coca-Cola Games Fiji Tailevu Zone was held today at the ANZ Stadium in Suva, and for the first time with track and field management sports software to record and manage the competition. Tailevu North's Zone Director Waisiki Korevulovo was the brains behind introducing the software in today's competition. Managing the meet manually without the software would have required triple the paperwork and probably triple the number of people.
We are using a meet managers program and as well the photo finishing. Even the teachers and the students, they really like it because it makes their work easier and there is not a lot of hiccups on the day.
Meanwhile, RKS took out the boys division with 26 gold, 29 silver and 21 bronze medals, while Tailevu North took out the girls division with 22 gold, 15 silver and 10 bronze. The North Bay team from USA has made a good start to the Basketball Fiji Winston Appeal Tournament, which started in Suva yesterday. The side defeated Ndavui 42-14 in their first match yesterday. In other matches, Pistons beat the Kings 39-17. Boston Red edged Warriors 37-34. Outsiders accounted for starters 24-18, while Boston White beat Iedemann 52-32. Competition continues today with Dynamic taking on Iconic in the women's division at 6 p.m. at Ed's Court in Raiwanga. That is your sports for this evening. Business is up next with Jackie.
The cost of damage to streetlights and traffic signals is approximately $1.5 million after Tropical Cyclone Winston. Prime Fiji says it's focused on restoring streetlight and traffic signal infrastructure as soon as possible. Teams are working round the clock to restore the lighting as quickly as possible, as large numbers of new fittings had to be brought in from overseas. Afternoon showers and isolated thunderstorms was experienced over most places today. A weak trough of low pressure with associated cloud and showers remains slow moving just to the south of Fiji. Meanwhile, an easterly wind flow prevails over the group. Suva, Lautoka and Lambasa were the hottest on 33 degrees, while Nandi was on 32 and Savu Savu was the coolest on 31. Forecast a Good Friday is for some showers over Kandavu, Lau and Lomaiviti group, the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers, isolated afternoon or evening thunderstorms with heavy falls are likely. And the further outlook is some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, afternoon or evening showers with thunderstorms elsewhere. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Prime Minister makes first visit to Taveuni after tropical cyclone Winston. FMPF pays out $100 million in cyclone relief funds, and police warn would-be offenders over Easter weekend to think twice. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. This week's poll question we are asking, is Fiji progressing well after tropical cyclone Winston? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks. My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Rakiraki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks. We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.